For this question, you're asked to decide which of the procedures run in linear time. That is, the running time scales linearly with the length of the input. What we need to make sure is that there aren't too many steps. If we have a look at the first procedure, we initialize a variable, doesn't take very much time, and then we have a for loop, and the for loop iterates through the input list here. And so if nothing happens in here, then it will iterate through input list times. So in order for it to be linear, the steps within the for loop must be in constant time. And so what are we doing? We're just comparing the variable maximum with an element, and then if the comparison is true, then we're setting maximum to be the element. This is just looking for the maximum element in the list. And that's just a constant time operation there. And so that is constant time. So procedure 1 does run in linear time. Now on to our second procedure. What's it doing? It's taking the first element of the input list and adding it on to sum. So sum starts at 0 and then adds the first element of the input list, and then the input list is set to be the second element onwards in the list. And then it keeps summing. Now, how many steps does this take? Well, it just cuts off the first element each time in the list. That's the one that we've already added on. And then the list continues as long as it's not empty. And so this is actually performed the length of the input list times. One thing we always need to look at when we're doing this is to check whether they're constant time. And you're told in the question that both of these are constant time, which means that the whole procedure runs in linear time. And now on to procedure 3. What it's doing is running through the list, checking each element against every other element. And if you're not checking an element against itself and the two elements are the same, then return false, and otherwise return true. So it's checking whether there's a repeated element in the list. Now looking at how it's done it, this inner loop here runs through all the values of j. In the worst case, when the input list of I is never equal to the input list j, when I and j are different, this will run through the whole list. This is going to go through length of input list times in the worst case. So the inner loop for j, that's going to go through that many times. Now it's going to go through that many times when I equals 0, and when I equals 1, and when I equals 2, and so on. So it's actually going to go through that inner loop, length of input times, and that's squared. And if it's something squared, it's no longer linear. So this is not linear time. So the correct answer was procedures 1 and 2 run in linear time with respect to the length of the input list, and procedure 3 does not.